know, something like that's going to happen. But so yeah, just overall, I agree with that.
Yeah. Sorry, I feel like I gave all my own I have it's so easy to have examples for this. But so tea kettle anger is is just a common thing for a lot of people, especially put this way. It's not like it's very easy to let things build, to take small things and kind of like let them stack up and then just like freak out on somebody, or keep a record of wrongs, or be passive aggressive. Have you guys ever find yourself being passive aggressive?
No. I mean, that's actually kind of tricky because it's passive aggressive in a really aggressive way.
Yeah. No, yeah, like they're talking to you, and even in the outside you can be like agreeing with them or being like, oh yeah, I understand, but inside you're like, you're totally wrong, and I am so angry at you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, oh my gosh, there was something that my dad used to say, because I don't get very angry at all, hardly. Like, that's just not my, personality. It takes a lot to get me mad, but when I was younger, I would be getting a lecture from my dad or something, and he's like, I know you're flipping me off in your head right now. And I would be like, and sometimes he would be right, and he'd be like,
You should be like, prove it.
Prove it? Oh, that, no. I don't even want to think about that.
Proved it right there.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess my face told it all, but I would try to be like, okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, oh, I really,
Yeah, me too. I would be like, they would be saying all this stuff, and I'd be like, I know what I have to say to get out of this situation. I know that I have to agree with you to be able to go back to my room,
Yeah.
I know what
That's
but inside, I disagree with you completely.
Mm-hmm.
And I would even be like, I'm not going to side with you ever. I would even make like I'm not going to side with you in this ever at all. But in my actions, I'll say sure, just so I can get through this,
Yeah. Now you're going to be there longer. And...
There's a spider above you.
You remind me of Stepbrother, where he's like, I'm not going to call him dad.
I love that
Ever,
scene.
even if there's a fire.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Oh, where is Daddy?
My sister will just send me that video clip every now and then. It's so funny. Even if there's a fire.
There was one time whenever I was little, I was getting in trouble and I did not want any part of it. Like, it was, little, I say. It was like 3 years ago. So I was stupid. Still am. But, point being, like, I knew exactly what to do to get out of the situation. Because there are steps I go through in my head that I have to do. Like, okay, just shut up and listen. Because if you say something, you're going to get more.
Let mom
And that's some wisdom. Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
wisdom, So.
And then step 2,
Agree with mom.
fake cry,
Yeah.
say you're sorry.
Oh man.
Step 3, go into rooms and think about what I did. AKA, play video games.
In other words,
read stories,
plot murder.
play my phone.
I mean, I didn't have a phone. I mean, that's how.
Well, yeah.
I didn't even have one.
Most of the time, I
At the
don't even
time.
get on my phone whenever I'm upset. I just like go. and
That is
stare.
smart.
I
Oh,
go-
so smart.
I go and stare at a wall, and I'm just like.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
my
It's so tempting to get on your phone and vent that way. That is bad, you guys. Avoid the phone when you're angry.
Is that
What?
Get on my phone when I'm
I
upset.
don't
I'm
ever
just like.
vent, but I do use my phone.
Man, there's been times where I've been angry at a situation, and it's not even a person every time, a situation or a person, and I just want to like tweet something because I know the least amount of people that I know follow me on Twitter. So if I post it on Facebook, everyone's gonna be like, "What's wrong?" and who are you talking about? But if I post it on Twitter, probably no one. I can still get it out into the social media world, but probably not that many people are gonna say anything back to me. But at least I said it,
Except for maybe like Michael.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, he follows me. He'll see it.
I live with you,
Yeah. So that's terrible though.
Yeah. When I first got social media, that would be the way that I was like, I had have a newer Facebook now, but the old one that I had, I was looking at it, like my 12-year-old post, and a lot of them would be like passive aggressive things about maybe a fight my parents had been in, and I just sounded so stupid. It was hilarious. Like, and I would say things like, "You don't realize I'm not a child anymore."
Did they follow you?
No.
Oh.
Well, I would hide it from them. I
That's
don't
so
think I
funny.
was- Oh, no. They found it every once in a while. Like, they would find one.
Okay,
So, and then they would bring those up too. Like, we saw that.
nice.
We know what
See,
you're talking about.
the difference in our childhood. I would write it down in a notebook and then hide the notebook, and they found the notebooks. Oh my gosh. That worst day of my life. One of the worst days of my life.
I used to write notes to my parents when they made me like, I hate you guys. So,
Yeah.
And my dad found one. He was like, listen, you never admit what you did wrong. You never admit. He was like he told me that. He's like, you don't write it down because your mom and I can't see what's in your head. Okay.
Man, it helped me to write stuff down, but it was so
I
bad.
would shred it after.
Wait,
I
what
was done.
happened?
Oh man, that's the smart thing.
I would get like every little
I didn't like I was didn't have a phone, obviously. I didn't have a phone until I was 17 or 18. So whenever I was upset or like really angry or like just expressing so it wasn't good. I mean, I'm expressing the anger thinking, "Oh, this," and it helped me to write it out because I was getting it out, but it wasn't godly what I was saying at all. I even had, as I got older, thought it was cool to curse. I had curse words in there. And so my parents found out the notebooks existed. And so I'm thinking, they won't actually like look for them though. But in case they do, I'll just put them under my mattress. Dumb idea. That's like the classic place to look. Why? So I put it under my mattress and then went to do, I was going out that evening to do something. I left, I came back, they were gone. So they had them. And to torture me, they didn't say anything to me about them until days later.
Oh my gosh, that's the
God.
worst.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was just like, I was just built, I mean, I'm just waiting to
Uncomfortable thinking
be
about that.
destroyed. Yeah, I mean, even
I know.
Are you gonna bring it up now?
even whenever I would write stuff down when I was little, I remember my dad's first, so my first stepmom, I knew that it was wrong that my dad was not married to my mom. I understood that, and so I was like, I wrote down on this paper one night. I was just like, I was talking to the stepmom, and I was like, you don't belong with my dad. He needs to leave you and go back to my mom, and all this stuff about how I felt, and I had planned on giving her this paper. But not until later on that day. But until then, I was gonna keep the paper. What am I thinking? I don't know how old I was, like 10 or something. I taped the paper to my bedroom wall. So she goes in there to clean, and I like peeked in there because I had come inside from playing in the front yard, and I look and she's like reading it. I see her reading it on the wall, and I like run out as fast as I can. I'm like, what was I thinking? Like she wasn't gonna see it. So anyway, yeah. So I've been, so that's been like that was most of my like growing up years. Is I would, if I felt a certain way, I would write it down in a journal or on a piece of paper or whatever, instead of going to that person and talking it out. So in a way, I guess I was kind of passive aggressive. I got it. I just needed to write it down. But yeah, I backfired on him a couple times. And I mean, rightfully so. I should have gotten in trouble for some of the stuff in that notebook. But I mean, it was also because of a deeper issue there that I don't know whatever was addressed.
Yeah.
But so yeah. So instead of going to social media, I went to the notebook.
Handy dandy notebook.
Yeah. And some of the notebooks, we would swap notebooks back and forth in school. Like we write, that's how we write notes to each other, my friends and I. One of us would write a page to one of them, and then you'd pass the notebook to the other one, and you write a page in response, which is like that's kind of healthy though,
I thought
you know.
you meant your bad notebooks, like you have your.
Some of it-
Talk my mom.
No, some of it was my friends knew what I was going through because I would share it with them, and so we would talk about my stepmom in the notebooks. So
I passed notes in middle school a lot. That was.
yeah, we did, and you know what? I almost feel like that's healthier than what it is nowadays. Pictures and texting and stuff, because writing, like it's like writing a letter over and over. That's pretty. I mean, that's like actually some sort of, I don't know, expression of writing. Being able to write out your feelings, that makes you a better writer overall, I think.
That's a good
Yeah.
release.
Yeah, a good release, a good communication with somebody. Because in writing, you're expressing what you're feeling. It's more thought through than a text. So I actually think that, I mean, that'd be fine if we went back to that.
It's also a lot easier to get caught passing than it is to just like,
Yeah,
to be fair.
yeah. I didn't grow up during that time.
Yeah. We would get caught sometimes writing notes and like.
What?
I said, I love this class.
Yeah. Here, look at this meme.
You should have gotten the little chalkboards, like put your note out on them and just across the room with someone.
Like a little whiteboard thing.
Oh my goodness.
One day, the opportunity to hurt the one who has offended us comes, and the tea kettle boils over, and we attack. Afterward, we may feel better. The pressure is relieved. And some examples here. Aaron, whenever he was jealous of Moses, and it built into a full-scale rebellion. Also, the sister was involved in that, Miriam. And then Jonah, who nursed a grudge against God for sending him where he didn't want to go. Yeah, that's why that story never really ended well, you know? Like, even whenever he did finally obey, he was still angry about it, so it just, you know what happened in the story with, like, the plant and the worm that was sent to eat it, or, right, was it a worm? It was I need to reread that to know the details, I forget. But,
Richie Tales has tainted our memories.
I know,
Yeah.
that's true, I watched that a
Gosh,
lot.
the best there.
Yeah, that's true. So this reminds me of have any of you guys seen You've Got Mail?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like the part where she's like messaging him, and she's like, it's in that moment whenever you want to have the exact right words, just tear that person down and really get at them and say the exact right, everything that you want to say in the way you want to say it, and just get it out. But then you're gonna feel terrible afterward. You say all the things that you've been thinking that you want to say, but it doesn't actually fix anything, and you actually just feel worse. And she gets that opportunity with him. She doesn't know it's him, obviously. But she gets the opportunity to say everything she really feels about this guy in the exact way she wants to say it, perfect diction. And then afterwards, she's just like, man, I'm a terrible person, for just like ripping that person to shreds. So, and you might feel better for a little bit. It doesn't fix anything, though, It's not ultimately better. It just creates, at least the cards are on the table about how you actually feel. But then you might even have said something you didn't mean, and you're going to have to go back and since you said it, it's out there, and they heard it, and words are like, very cutting. And even if they forgive you, sometimes it may take a long time for that exact thing that you said to heal, because they remember what you said, and even if you didn't mean it, it's hard to forget sometimes, even if they forgive you.
You can't unhear it.
Huh? Yeah, you can't unhear it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's true. Because there's some things that I know people have said that they didn't mean, but it's like I can never forget it, I can never forget that they said. And I still love that person, but I remember the moment, I remember hearing the words. But the Holy Spirit is who heals those deep things. And so it's not worth it, to feel better by just like saying all that stuff sometimes. But like I said, sometimes you have more to repent for than because you said all of that. It's like whenever my husband and I would come to the place where we're like on the downside of a fight and we're like apologizing for all those things, then I have to go back through all the terrible things I said. Oh, I'm sorry for saying this. I didn't mean. I'm sorry for saying this. You don't just say I'm sorry and it covers over everything. You kind of have to list the things, because otherwise later the things that he said that like really hurt me, I could be like, oh well, he said he was sorry, but did he really mean that thing? Mm-hmm. And so I made sure whenever we apologize at the end of it, we apologize for the specific things we said, because I didn't want him to be able to go back later in his mind and be like, oh, she said that. Maybe she meant that part. I did not mean this. I did not mean this specific thing that I said. I'm so sorry for saying that. I don't actually think that. So it's really, I mean, like I said, the more you say, the more you have to go back and like enumerate. I did not mean in all this list of things. So, yes, so it's good to deal with the issues as they come. And if it is something that you